Hello and welcome to Player Podcast number 6. I'm Austin Rooney, one of the voices of the Harwich Mariners. You can check out the previous podcasts on YouTube and Facebook, but this week I had the opportunity to catch up with Harwich Mariners outfielder Matt Vierling during batting practice, which is why you will hear the batting practice music in the background of the podcast. Matt Vierling is also a fellow student of mine at the University of Notre Dame, and in this podcast I ask him some Notre Dame specific questions, such as why did he decide to go to ND and his favorite spot on campus. I also discuss with him some of the changes he's made to his swing and how his hometown team, the St. Louis Cardinals, drafted Matt Vierling in the 30th round of the 2015 draft. So, without further ado, here is Matt Vierling. Matt, how are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing quite well. So Matt Vierling and I are both students at the University of Notre Dame. So Matt, my first question to you is, how did you decide to go to Notre Dame? What was one of the contributing factors?
Well, Notre Dame was always like one of the dream schools for me. My uncle went there, played a little baseball there as well. And I don't know, it's a good school. It's great academics, good baseball program. It's kind of a perfect mix of both. That's what I was looking for out of high school, and it's been a perfect fit so far.
Is there one spot on campus for you, whether it be, I don't know, the Basilica or the baseball field, or one spot that is particularly meaningful to you?
I'd probably say Touchdown Jesus.
Touchdown Jesus?
Yeah, just being around there. I lived in a hall that was really close to there, and I don't know, I'm always around it. I'm on that side of campus, so you're always walking by it and seeing it.
Okay, so your brother graduated from Christian Brothers College High School, just like you did, and he's going to Missouri this year. Of course, both of you guys raised in St. Louis, Missouri, so I guess it makes sense. But did you try to convince him to go to Notre Dame?
Yeah, there tried to be a little bit of convincing there. I think Mark just wanted to stay closer to home, and he had a bunch of buddies going to Mizzou, and he really liked that baseball program and the coaches there, and that seemed like the perfect fit for him as well, and I had a perfect fit at Notre Dame, and you can only do so much convincing until my brother, he just decided to do his own thing, and I'm happy for him. I couldn't be more proud of him.
Coach Englert has nicknamed you Irish on the lineup card because you go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Do you have any other nicknames, either around here or back at Notre Dame?
Not really, just Matt, or some people call me Matty V, or that's pretty much about it, honestly.
Nothing crazy?
Nothing crazy.
Crazy. All right, so now you've been on the Cape for a little while here. Who are your roommates back at with your host family?
Yeah, so my roommate, I've only have one roommate, Jamie Sarah from William and Mary.
Okay, you guys gotten pretty close over the time here?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good guy. Pretty funny kid. He's a little goofy here and there. It's pretty funny, but no, he's a good dude. And my host dad, Fran Bastian, he's a really good guy. His house is wonderful, and he treats us like, we're his sons, and it's good. I enjoy it.
So you guys got really close to playing any pranks on each other, or you guys?
No pranks yet. We're pretty cool with each other. You just we hang out a bunch, but then when we realize that someone needs some space, we let them have it. So it's a perfect thing going.
All right, now moving back towards the baseball front here. You've been here on the Cape for about a month and a half. You've now kind of gotten used to the wood a little bit. It started out a little bit slowly, but you've picked it up lately.
Yeah, I have. I made a couple adjustments. Wasn't as much, the metal to wood for me. It was more just mentality-wise and getting used to the pitching up here and kind of refining my approach. Sometimes, what worked for me this year at Notre Dame, people are better up here, so kind of got to change things up a little bit. It took me a little while to get adjusted, but I feel great up there, and I'm pretty happy for how I've been playing. I can't wait to keep on playing and keep on moving forward.
Excellent. So what exactly were your changes to your swing that you wanted to refine?
It was more of just the way I was thinking up there. Going up there thinking, a certain spot is the way I'm thinking now, and before I was just looking for a specific pitch, and sometimes that might get you in a little bit of trouble if he throws the other pitch, you know what
Exactly.
I mean? So I'm more looking like a location now, and pitch to pitch everything changes for me, which is how it should be. At least it's working for me right now.
So does that kind of run with the scouting report? Do you kind of know what the pitcher's going to throw to you coming into the day? Like he's more of a guy who's going to throw down in or upstairs and inside, or?
A little bit. It's more of the only scouting reports we really get are just kind of how hard the guy throws, and if we faced him before, if somebody's faced him before, they tell us, what he's like. So you kind of tailor your approach to that. But for the most part, you get a really good feel your first 2 at bats for the pitcher, and if you get a 3rd or 4th at bat off of them, then you stick to your approach, or if someone new comes in, you adjust.
And then I guess what you also look at the pitcher when guys who are similar to you as batters kind of come up to the plate, and you kind of judge off that as well, I'm guessing?
Exactly. When a right-handed hitter goes up, I see how he throws to a right-handed hitter, and it's not the exact same way he might throw to you, but you get a really good look at what he's like to right-handed hitters.
Okay, now, what would you say the talent level compares? Of course, you're playing at Notre Dame in the ACC. How does the ACC compare to the Cape Cod Baseball League?
ACC's a really good baseball conference. It's a really good baseball conference. It's right up there. I think it's the best. I mean, one of the best, with probably ACC, SEC, I think are the 2 best ones. And ACC is really good, but obviously the Cape Cod League, the pitchers up here are really, really good, and so are the hitters. It's kind of like the best players from every college team are up here, and the talent level is definitely better up here than the ACC, but the ACC is no slouch. The ACC is one of the best in the country.
So now moving on to, you were back to 2015. You were drafted in the 30th round by your hometown team, the St. Louis Cardinals. They were your team growing up. How was it being drafted? Take me through draft day.
It was awesome. I kind of just heard, watching on the computer what exactly, the draft was, how they were drafting kids. It was on the computer, not on TV or anything. And I don't know, they just said my name, and I heard it, and I couldn't have been more happy, and my family was elated, and it was one of the best days of my life, no doubt.
And so you're drafted in the 30th round. Do you consider going to play for the St. Louis Cardinals, or were you dead set on going to Notre Dame?
I was pretty set on going to Notre Dame. Notre Dame was one of, it was probably dead set on Notre Dame for the most part, and teams knew that. And I'm just happy I got drafted by the Cardinals. It was great, but I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Was it tough to turn it down there at all, or?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's the Cardinals,
Yeah.
And Cardinals from St. Louis, so it was my favorite team growing up and everything. It was a little tough, but for the most part, I had my heart set on Notre Dame.
On Monday, this upcoming Monday, you will go to Fenway Park in Boston, of course, one of the most iconic Major League stadiums out there. And are you excited for that, or how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think anytime you get to play or just take batting practice or hang out in a big league park, it's pretty awesome. So I think everybody's excited about it. I'm pumped for it. I can't wait, and it's going to be a good time.
Do you have any specific expectations leading up to that?
Yeah, I want to see how hard it's going to be to hit one over the Green Monster. So I want to try to hit one over, but I heard it's kind of tough. So.
Now moving on here, this is one of the final questions. Last week when I interviewed Dewanye Williams-Sutton before he left, he told me that he has a number of different autographs. He originally started with the whole Dewanye Williams-Sutton. He cut it down to DWS. What is your autograph? You signed a lot of autographs after the game.
It's pretty simple. I'll just go MAT. I don't do a second T for Matt. I just do MAT, and then I do a V, and then just kind of scribble a little bit and finish the G at the end. It's just it makes everything quicker that way.
Has it evolved over the years since like your first year at Notre Dame?
Yeah, like at least in high school, there's a couple like little kids every now and then want your autograph, but then last summer I played in the Northwoods League in Madison, and we'd be signing autographs after the game for an hour, and I figured out like how I was gonna write my signature then and how's an autograph baseballs and stuff. So it kind of evolved, and it's easy now.
All right, so the fans here have gotten to know you, Matt Vierling, as a baseball player. Who are you off the field?
Just like an outgoing kid. I like to hang out with friends, and I just like to have a good time. So basically about it.
All right. Thank you so much, Matt, for taking the time to do this interview here. Wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.